Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hey, Rebecca, I'm gonna have to jump off for the Stride meeting, so I'll leave early.
Okay. Hi, Kathy.
Morning.
Corey, what time do you have to jump off?
9 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, Rebecca, you've got me, but you've only got me on audio because I'm right in the middle of the room today.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll just let folks in if they join us late. So we're just going to start with quick welcome and introductions. So just looking for your name and what organization you work for. If you have any like organizational updates you want to get to the group, please email them to me after this meeting. I'd like to keep the welcome and introduction piece short and sweet so I can get to all the fun stuff we're doing. So I'll just call on you as you appear on the screen. So you should all know me. My name is Rebecca Nicholson, and I work for the Door County Partnership for Children and Families, and I am the community connector. So we'll go to Ann next.
Good morning, everybody. Ann Schmekel, Sturgeon Bay Schools.
Corey.
Corey McFarland, Door County Department of Health and Human Services.
Kathy.
Kathy Schultz, Door County Department of Health and Human Services, Comprehensive Community Services Facilitator.
Jennifer.
Jennifer Miller, Door County Circuit Court.
Callie.
Callie Crowell, Behavioral Health, Door County Medical Center.
Chris.
Chris Miller, Cradle to Career at Lakeshore Cap.
Beth.
Beth Locken, Youth Services Librarian for the Door County Library.
Nikki. I see you're trying to connect to audio, so I'm going to assume that you might be having an issue there. So Nikki's with us from Dortran. And then Sam just joined us. Sam, we're just doing introductions. If you could just let us know your name and where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Sam Burris. I'm with Jack's Place, and Jack's Place is a program of a Lakeshore Cap Incorporated. And Jack's Place is a mental health resource center located here in Sturgeon Bay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming together this morning as well.
All right, so we will just get right into the partnership updates. So Chad reports that Dolly Parton Imagination Library currently has 696 active children and 347 have graduated thus far. Raising a Thinking Child training, he was hoping to do one in March, but that came quick. So he's planning to do one in mid-April, and he's worked to condense the curriculum, not really like take anything pertinent out, but just kind of condense it into 5 weeks, hoping that will encourage more parents to join in as there's less weeks of commitment. And that will be held at Hope Church. So he did get a chance to go over to Hope Church, and they've had some change in clergy and things over there. And so he's welcomed with open arms again. So that's awesome. So that's where he will hold it. And I believe he's planning to do a daytime one he was thinking around between like the 9 to 11 time frame. And then hopefully he can solicit some high schoolers maybe to do some childcare if need be, so that they can get their community service hours or whatever that need is that they have there. So that's something he's working on. Parent cafes, he is planning to hold a county-wide one in April. He doesn't have a date yet. And then on the island in April as well, which will be in person. So he and Cami are working on planning a trip to the island in April. Triple P. So Triple P is a positive parenting program. He's been like sitting in on Brown County's Triple P classes for quite some time to learn about them. And so he is now going to be trained. So he'll be a certified trainer for Triple P, and his training starts in March. So there's 4 training days in March and then 2 in April. So that's exciting. So Triple P will kind of take us to the next step after raising a thinking child as far as age group for the youth. So where raising a thinking child is ages 4 to 7, Triple P targets ages 7 and up. So that'll be exciting. Helen, I don't think is with us yet, if at all today, but she did send me information on the crisis intervention partner training. So, and Chad is going to be speaking at that training and also on the panel with some of his lived experience. So that is on April 12th and 13th from 8 to 4:30 at the ADRC in the community center room. And so I will include the flyer with my meeting minutes. I know I sent it out before too as well, so that you all have that information.
If anybody has questions on the CIP training, Sam and I have both been on that planning committee, so we could answer it. But I think it's gonna be a great 2-day training, so please spread the word.
Thank you, Corey. Jared Stanek reached out to me and asked if I would share with the group a young writers conference that's coming up. It's quick, March 18th. So next Friday. He wanted to reach out and share about it because they have scholarship funds available for youth that want to attend but may not be able to afford it. So I am going to send the information out with the meeting minutes after the meeting today. You'll get the meeting minutes today. So I took what was on the website for the event and threw it all like into a Word doc and made it into a PDF. So it's easy to read, you know who the speakers are, and hopefully then you can try to spread the word to any families you work with that might have youth that might be interested in this. That sounds like a really neat opportunity. All right, moving along, Welcome Baby program. So we are close, very close to a launch date. We have a goal, a kind of a loose goal for a launch date of May 1st. We did procure so far $20,000 in funding for this to get this off the ground. We are also working on a couple more grants to gain some more dollars so that our soft launch, we're looking at really targeting like the OBGYN clinic, for instance, and utilizing my services as well as kind of in a team effort between Naomi Spritka from Birth to 3, Gina Fellhofer from Healthy Families, and Chris Miller from Cradle to Career to get this off the ground until we have the funds and can hire a actual family resource specialist to fill the role moving forward. But we've been at this for about 3 years, so we're ready to get this started in some capacity. So if you have any questions about Welcome Baby or details, let me know. I'll have a little blurb about it in the meeting minutes for you as well. Parent Supporting Parents program is still in motion here. We are working with the county closely, and our parent partner is still in training at this time. So that's moving along. And then under other business, I wanted to talk a little bit about the survey results that we received off of a survey that I had done at the end of December and kind of kept it open until through February. So I think what I'm going to do is actually pull it up on my screen so we can kind of go through it. And then I'm going to share with you what Chad and I kind of thought some things we would offer based on those results. And then I'll open it up for some discussion here to see if anybody else has any thoughts or ideas. So just bear with me a moment while I get that up for us. Technical difficulties, stand by.
Rebecca, it makes the rest of us feel good when you have technical difficulties because you're so much more skilled than most of us.
I'll second that.
Oh, come on now.
For all the mothers out there too, May 8th is Mother's Day as well. So that's always, to do an event or something like that. That could be May's Mental Health Awareness Month too. So we'll try to do some type of things, I'm sure.
Okay, here we go. All right, so share my screen. All right, Anne, give me a thumbs up if you see it on your screen. Okay, perfect. All right. So when I put out the survey, I used similar outline as Tenley did back in 2019. So utilizing the headings of education and learning, raising a family, and community activities. I kept it rather short and sweet. I didn't get as much participation as Tenley, but it's okay. I got, a good handful, well, just under 50. So I know Tenley got like 300 something. So, but we'll go with what we got. So under education and learning, so hot topics here were mental health and well-being, which is not surprising after the effects of the pandemic. Triple P positive parenting class was actually asked for as in like an other, so that was neat. So we're already working on that. Another skill that they're looking for is how to diffuse escalation in their children. So, both I think Triple P and Raising a Thinking Child really can help touch on that. And also we're going to be gearing a lot of Facebook posts to what parents want, and also Chad's Chat with Chad's articles will also speak to this stuff, so we can hopefully answer some questions for them and point them in the right direction for resources. Kindergarten readiness, of course, is here. I don't think that's really new. We just keep plugging away on that. Project-based learning was brought up. Homeschoolers have come to the table too, which is exciting. I really hope that Chad and I can tap into that group more. I do get to know who submitted the surveys, so that's good, because then I can reach back out and hopefully offer some collaboration with our homeschooling group out there in Door County. They also want to learn more about Door County history from the different people that came and stayed, different tribes, wildlife, plants, artists. So that was neat to see. So we can gear some Facebook posts around that. And also I'll reach out to the person that submitted that to share what we already do have in place, like Maritime Museum and the Door County Museum and things like that already exist here. And for any of you that have taken the Leadership Door County training, there is a good portion spent on the history of Door County. So I believe I got a book or something along those lines. So it's something I can maybe share somehow with people that are interested. But I thought that was really cool. And
Rebecca,
also, yes.
Sorry, Rebecca, does that book include much about the tribal history in Door County? Because I'd be interested in that portion of it if you have anything.
I don't know. There was couple years since I read
Okay.
it, so
Let me know.
I'll look at it. But I did, if you may have or may not have noticed, we had 2 Door County talks at the Door County Auditorium. Tomorrow is one, and then last weekend was one. So I made sure to share that out on Facebook, because those are directly related to 2 tribes, one being the Ho-Chunk, and then I forgot the other one, but so that our parents know that there's opportunities to hear about those topics.
That was great.
Mm-hmm. Under raising a family, stress management is huge. Again, that is not surprising. Not only just from the pandemic, just being a parent and just being a parent. I can attest to that. 13 years into it with my, challenging child. Anyway, internet safety and peer pressure have really been brought up again. So we will be looking for ways to bring in information, or for instance, if any of the school districts are doing anything with internet safety, I know Sevastopol did not long ago, making sure we share that information out. Family team building was brought up, which I thought was really neat. I haven't really seen any parents ask for that before. So looking at ways that we might be able to hold some type of event that includes family team building and what that looks like. I might reach back out to that parent and ask if they could clarify a little bit on what they feel that is or looks like too. Healthy eating and meal planning. So we do have Healthy Door County here through the United Way. So we'll make sure that we're sharing out their information, putting it in my monthly newsletters. I actually do. Our vegetable of the month always goes in our newsletter, and I include the activity guide that Healthy Door County puts out, as well as like recipes for that vegetable and things like that. Budgeting was also meant. Yes, Anne.
What kind of, I just lost what I was going to say because I saw something else on here. Never mind, I'll think of it.
Okay. Budgeting has also been brought forward. So with that particular survey participant, I will make sure I reach back out and share the budgeting resources we do have in case they are unaware. But that's also something, yes, Corey.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't want to lose my thought on this, but the family team building,
yes.
It might be really cool to do something with the Team Leadership Center, and maybe DHHS could partner with the partnership to do something along those lines for families. We've done some great events there with some of our staff teams, for example, and with some of our youth. Haven't ever done a family-based activity, but that might be something interesting to explore maybe for this summer.
What did you say?
It's a good resource.
What did you say it was called?
Team Leadership Center.
Team Leadership. Okay.
I remembered what I was going to ask.
Okay.
What kind of a readership are you getting on your newsletter and Chad's chats?
So my newsletter got over a 40% open rate, and I have the last count, I think it was over 70 subscribers. So that's according to Constant Contact, over 40% open is huge.
That is very good. Yes.
The standard is like in the 20s or something, low 20s. So that's good. Yes, I'd like to have more subscribers. So I'll be looking at ways to do outreach with that. For instance, with the diapers, wipes, and formula, which, by the way, don't let me forget someone to talk about that. I didn't have it on my agenda. So the diapers, wipes, and formula support that we've been offering through grant dollars, when I drop off these items to porches that I have not met before, I put information, lots of information in the bag with the wipes, including a little slip for our newsletter. And so I believe I've had a few sign up from that because I noticed my numbers did increase a little bit. So just looking for ways to get those slips out to people, or at least let them know that we have a newsletter that they can follow. So that might be something I send to all our partner organizations that they can share with their families that they're working with.
Is that something that maybe you could collaborate with the schools for the, you know, the grade schools for sending information home for those parents when they have like parent nights and stuff like that. I don't know,
Yes.
Ann, maybe there's rules or not.
Hi, everybody. I'll insert something here. I'm Katie DeVillers, principal at Sawyer. It's nice to meet you. I've heard about your good work, so I appreciate being invited. We do have a weekly parent newsletter that goes home from our school, and community agencies they send us flyers if they would rather have a flyer as well as an announcement. So those kinds of things go through us, and we'd be glad to support.
Perfect.
I just want everybody to know that Katie is now the principal at Sawyer School. She replaced me, and we're thrilled to have her, and really thrilled that she's agreed to join our meetings and become involved.
Yes, thank you, Katie. We're glad to have you on board. Okay. Let's see if I can find my spot now. Okay, so budgeting, I was talking about making sure I reach out to that parent to make sure they know about the budgeting resources that are available. And then maybe adding that into some Facebook posts too. Another thing that Chad and I talked about was doing a resource spotlight between my newsletter that I send out, which I usually do something like that, and on Facebook, just to keep putting that stuff out there in front of people, because that's how we, keep it top of mind. And you're usually going to catch someone you didn't catch the last time out on social media. So we're going to be doing that. Under community activities, so they want family entertainment activities and to connect with other families. Those are the two big ones. So they're looking for outdoor nature-based activities, opportunities for free fun activities for kids, connecting with other families, and then also connecting with other parents who have young children with special needs. So again, the parent that wrote about connecting with other parents that have special needs, I will make sure to reach out and provide to them the resources like PATH and this the Mom Strong group that PATH has, which is a group of parents that get together specifically to what they're talking about, to connect with each other that have children with different abilities. So one of the things that I had thought about with free fun activities for kids, and this can be expanded, but one idea I had was to try to hold an event where we can get, like maybe it's like hot dogs, chips, water, whatever, like donated, and then hold an event where the families can come and they can participate in whatever we have, whether we bring the blocks to that or we have other activities, or maybe we do something like a craft together or something like that. I don't know, just so many different ideas.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Two thoughts on that. One is when you talk about like the outdoor nature-based activities and family team building, Jane Burris came to my mind as a person that like I have utilized her with, kind of supporting family connection, where she's gone out with just one family at a time. And the term, I think we've talked about her before. Corey, you brought Jane in for us to experience her forest bathing. But she might be another resource that's out there. And then just to feel free to come pick my brain anytime. Back in another lifetime, 15 plus years ago, I was the family resource coordinator at the Y in Fish Creek. And we came up with some really cool family centered activities that, found sponsorship. And it just, the one that always comes to my mind is we did a family movie night, and the dads got really involved because we would make cars out of cardboard boxes for the youngins, and they just had a lot of fun. And then we were able to get a movie that the kids would park in a big room. We'd put up a big screen TV. So, and we it would be fun, but there'd be some learning aspect to it. So feel free to pick my brain on that sometime.
I'm glad you brought up Jane Burris. So the mental health focus group in February had an activity at Crossroads, and we had Jane Burris there to do guided nature walks. It was going to be just for adults. The weather didn't cooperate, all the snow melted, and it was very icy. So the free ski and snowshoeing was canceled. So our numbers were down a little. So we just kind of pivoted and had the forest walk be for families. We got really good feedback. We had a bonfire out there with s'mores. We had a resource fair inside with all different community resources. We helped kids make snow volcanoes and blow bubbles. And so I think something along those lines is, useful. And we're looking at doing something potentially in May. We might partner with Jack's Place when they're doing their open house in May, or we might do something at the Fine Arts Fair Memorial Day weekend, where we'd also have some activities for kids and families at those events. So those are some things kind of in the works. Also, when I look at the outdoor nature-based activities, I think that could be a good link with Healthy Door County too. I think Sean is thinking about doing some, not just nutrition-based, but also activity-based things. So
okay,
good partnership.
That got me thinking too, even before Corey mentioned more than I was remembering or aware of, the different resources that are out there, because a lot of parents don't know, or if they're new to the community, just reminding them, whether it's in your newsletter or Facebook posts, of the nature centers we have at all the different parks and the different activities they have there that are great for families, whether they're different types of scavenger hunts at the different state parks, or they have different activity bags you can take out. I think Crossroads has a number of those too. So reminding people of those things as they come up, or whatever calendar you're maintaining. A lot of people don't know about them. So whatever you can do to amplify or promote that is helpful.
Yep. Okay, so lots of good ideas there. So keep them coming. Feel free to email me, and we'll add them into our repertoire. So, so those are the main pieces that the families are looking for, and what Chad and I want to make sure that we're serving our families in the way that they would like to be served. So that was great. Now, as far as like how they want information, whether it's social media, newsletters, school newsletters, things like that, it was pretty even across the board, which I was kind of surprised by, but I guess not really. So anyways, we'll just keep putting it out there in all of those ways, and try to get the information as much as possible out to them. Another piece I want to talk about is our subcommittees have not been meeting for quite a long time. So something that we're going to be thinking about is, should we reactivate, so to speak, some of our subcommittees, or should we tweak them a little bit? So right away, one thing that comes to my mind when Kathy said to pick her brain is perhaps we create a subcommittee around family-based activities, so we can get help planning those, and hopefully get help brainstorming some pools of volunteers that we may need for these events. So that's something that just kind of came up just now to me. So something I'll talk to Chad about, that maybe we start up that. Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts, ideas at this time? I will also send these survey results out with the meeting minutes again, so people can review them again and share any thoughts or ideas that come up. All right, so back to the diapers, wipes, and formula. So back last year, we had asked the Emergency Relief Fund for some money to offset the cost of diapers, wipes, and formulas for families, knowing that a lot of families were losing time at work because of the pandemic and things of that nature. We do have Christ Child Society, which is wonderful, that can fill some of those needs, but we were concerned that they would be overwhelmed and wanted to get ahead of that possible scenario. So we did get some dollars. We were able to serve families in that regard throughout the rest of last year. And then we got our grant renewed a couple of times, which was great. And then January, I think right after like the first, I think it was January 1st, actually, I had put like out on there's a Facebook group called In Search of Free Stuff, basically. And I saw someone was looking for diapers or something. So then I decided, okay, contact me. I can help with that. And if anybody else needs any assistance with diapers, wipes, and formula, let us know. We have some funds available right now to help. And that blew up. I had 20 some requests within 24 hours. So I filled them all. I was able to get more grant dollars from the emergency relief fund. I asked for a little more money because I was like, oh boy, now we've opened something here. And so that's great. I've been doing that. And for January and February, my dollar spent was about $1,200 a month. So you can imagine what the need is out there. And I will honestly say that the requests were coming from folks from parents that I, spoke to. I always speak to them and also kind of screen them for other needs, and have connected several families to other resources and Cradle to Career. So Chris has gotten some good referrals from that too, which is awesome. But I will say that these are families that really do have these needs, and like had other needs, other significant needs as well, that I may not have gotten in front of if we hadn't done this. So that was really great. So we anticipate that this need is going to continue, especially with the inflation rates right now. So we went back to the emergency relief fund, and we asked for a significant amount. So we asked for $13,000 so that we could finish out this entire year and serve about the need I'm having right now, which is about $1,200 a month. And they granted it. So that is awesome. So if any of your families you work with, or you hear of anybody saying, and then there was the formula recall, right? So that was a big thing. So if anybody out there, you hear anything about, I don't know when I'm going to get diapers, I don't know when I'm going to wipes or formula, because we all know that WIC is a great resource. However, it's not meant really to sustain the formula need for the whole month. It's more like a supplement. So if they're struggling and they're running out of formula early, and either they don't get food share benefits, or with the cost of food now, that's not working either, send them my way. Now, the best way to do that is to utilize my interest form on our website, which you will find under parents and caregivers. I have a community connections button like right at the top there. Send them that way. But if you feel like that might be a barrier for them, just have them call me. That's fine too. And I will help them. So that was really exciting.
2 questions on that, Rebecca.
Yeah.
I've heard through the grapevine that you were looking at maybe doing a diaper and wipes drive through churches and other spots in the community. Are you still planning on that?
I am not. The United Way is doing a personal hygiene and basic cleaning supplies drive right now.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yep. For the month of March. So many of the bank, like Nicolay Bank, Associated Bank, some churches, a couple of churches are in there, all the library branches. Well, I think most of the library branches, I won't say all, will have containers. I can put the flyer for that in the meeting minutes, so you guys have where the locations are. Yeah. So, that's been something that's been a need in our community for quite some time. And the food pantries sometimes have a personal hygiene item or two, but with the cost of everything going up now, it's going to be a huge need. So yeah, spread the word on that.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. My second question is, do you think we should build some funding for diapers, wipes, and formula into the Welcome Baby grant that we're working on for next year, in case the emergency fund isn't able to support that ongoing?
there is a very high chance that the emergency relief fund will not be able to sustain that going forward, Corey. So yes, that would be a great idea, since the budget I sent you is well under what you were thinking.
Yeah. Okay, I will add that in, and it's easy to make that link to COVID. So
yes, thank you.
Becca?
Yes.
For the personal hygiene products, how will people access those then that need them?
Yep. So they are going to be dispersed to partner. The wording Amy is using right now is distributed to partner organizations and the pantries.
Excellent.
So I don't know the specific details, but that's what she's using right now. So
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no, it's not our intention to hold that stuff at the United Way office. That I do know.
Rebecca, I really appreciate the effect of the diapers and wipes giving you an in and finding new inroads to people who have other needs. I think that's fabulous. So one way or the other, connecting with those families that really need your support and connection. That's great.
Yeah, it got me thinking about, is there something similar we should be doing to connect with parents with older kids that we could meet a need in some way? I know it's a big workload barrier for you, Rebecca, but because it's so effective in connecting people, I just was curious about that.
I wonder if there isn't some way that when Altrusa does their back to school effort, there might be a way to provide information to those families, even if it's just the community connections flyer. I mean, because some of those families obviously are taking advantage of Altrusa to buy those school supplies, which we know are more expensive every year.
Great point.
That might be a way to connect.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe even Toys for Kids at the holiday time.
I'm finding that a lot of families need gas cards.
Yes.
I just don't know how to make sure it's the people who really need them that request them.
That reminded me of a conference I attended in Northwest Wisconsin. I think we were in Ashland, and I don't remember what agency. It was a social service, human services type agency. And that was how they would, get people to sit down and talk to them, that they would give them gas cards. And it was just to, review what might be going on and what, helping people come in to learn about what services are out there. So they'd have to, as I say, this program, they came in, and I'm not even sure there wasn't some cash at some of these, which didn't strike us right, but a gas card, I was thinking that too.
So yes, gas card has been something that I've been talking to Amy about frequently, especially now. So we are looking at how we might be able to partner. So Dortran, for instance, has the gas vouchers, and they partner with PARV through the BP here on 3rd in Michigan. So the person brings the voucher into the gas station. The pump is set up to pay, and that way it also, we know that the money is being used for gas and not other items, because the research that I have done, I have not found a gas card that isn't where you can just buy whatever in the store, which isn't the end of the world, right? But if we really want to make sure that they're getting the gas because they need to get to work and things like that, I guess we want to try to limit it to just gas. So that's something Amy and I are talking about, is maybe there's a way to partner with Dortran on that, or PARV or whatever. It's in the early stages of the talk, but yes, that is, Chris, you are definitely right. I get that request a lot. And I St. Joe's used to give them out, but they had stopped doing that. And so we haven't gotten a chance to talk to the new, Amy thinks that the new gentleman that I forgot, Dennis McCarthy, that they do a similar thing like at Stella Maris up in Egg Harbor. So they'll make an appointment and go meet with the family at the home. And Amy is pretty sure they're pretty broad with what they'll offer. So one of the things on my to-do list, my long to-do list, is to contact him and just ask him, can you give me, do you do gas cards? Because then maybe I can send a family that I've come in contact with over to them. I don't know. So yes, it's a topic of discussion here to try to figure something out. And it's only going to get worse as these gas prices continue to climb.
Yeah, I'd be definitely interested, Rebecca, in helping, bridge that gap. The vouchers that we need, they're 3-part voucher instead of like a gas card. So again, to keep the integrity of the program and make sure that it's used for fuel, we can get you guys connected, help you guys with that too. So.
Perfect.
Nikki, what's the criteria for DoorTran helping an individual with a gas voucher?
Right now, the only program that we have is using existing funding from our WeTap program, which has to be then tied to employment. So getting to or from an interview, to or from that first paycheck, that sort of thing. And now with the price of gas, we may have to revisit that program too. We just don't have an unlimited amount of funding. So certainly it'd be another grant or something to look into, partnering with someone else and seeing how we can boost up that account or, partner with someone, like I said.
Thanks.
Another thought, and Rebecca, you could add that to your to-do list. I'm just kidding, but would be, I know there's a lot of churches in the community, Northern Door for sure, that, someone had time to sit down with the pastors and at those, various churches, they're looking for ways to support families as well, that, gas cards would probably be on the table. And maybe they'd want to have kind of a vetting system like you're talking about a little bit too. But I know there's several churches that are very benevolent and they're looking for ways to help support families. So that might be something to think about as well.
Okay. Another item on my wish list, let's put it that way, is how can I better serve, or the partnership better serve, our Latino families? So the language barrier, I've managed. I use Google Translate a lot, use text messaging. We had started a conversation with a couple of partner organizations way back before the pandemic, and that kind of fell through. So that's something, I'm just putting it out there. If anybody knows of any like grants you hear of or anything like that, let me know, because I'm hoping that we might be able to find a way to get a translator, either by contract or whatever that looks like. I've got ideas, but we can't do anything without funding. So we're making do with what I have as far as tools right now. I do go to Imelda sometimes for certain things. And it kind of depends on the family if they're comfortable working with her or not. So I just want to put that out there. If anybody thinks of anything, or I did meet with Casa Alba in Green Bay. So that was also pre-pandemic, and they are willing to help as much as they can, but of course they're down there and we're up here. So we briefly mentioned something about trying to collaborate a little bit, but that fell through with pandemic too. So it's something that's on my list as well, to like maybe circle back with them. But
Rebecca, you took the words right out of my mouth. I come from Green Bay and I've worked extensively on grant funded things with Casa Alba and Sister Melanie, as well as our Yale department in Green Bay. And I can give you names and connections, maybe even beyond what you did, but Casa Alba would be the place to start.
Okay.
So if you want, if you have any questions or you want some resources in the form of people to contact, I can sure help you with that, because they've gone through the journey that you're just starting to go through a while back, right?
Yeah.
So I'd love to help in that way. Also, because we just got a new student and she's getting tested on Monday. She doesn't speak a word of English, and that's really, really hard. So this community needs to start on the journey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Rebecca,
because the needs of each of our agency are relatively small, but they are critical when they come up. So if we could find a way to partner across agencies to have a shared position or something along those lines, that would be great. We would be very interested in that, Rebecca.
And I'm not, and Sister Melanie is great and a good resource, but there are people that work with her from the school district as well that we wrote grants together, I guess I would say. So I would love to help you in that way.
Let's put it on the executive committee agenda.
Okay.
Okay, Rebecca.
Yep. I smell another subcommittee.
Maybe there's another resource, maybe someone else, you guys might know more about it, but there is a program, I don't know if it's between Kewaunee and Door County, but it's a literacy program for Spanish speaking individuals, and they gather volunteers to help tutor. You know, I don't know if that would be a resource to connect with as well.
Literacy Door County, Rebecca, with Peggy Swinky.
Oh,
yep.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
I just want to say that I appreciate, this is why the partnership is successful, because all of you, we put our heads together and we come up with solutions for the community. So I'm really appreciative of everyone's involvement in helping us keep moving forward.
Yes, and I am so glad I'm recording this because there's so many good ideas and I took notes, but I can always refer back. So, all right, so we're getting close here to our end time, so I want to try to wrap things up here. So next meeting is Friday, June 10th. And so I'd really like to try to do an in-person meeting, and we can use a hybrid, right? So for those of us that cannot attend in person, can still join in on Zoom. I have the location as to be determined because I need to check on the technology versus the size of space. So for instance, our United Way main level new conference room has the hybrid capability, but it's not a big room. It's rather small. So, and it really is going to depend on how many people attend, because I don't always know. Sometimes it's a small group like today, or it could be more people. So, any thoughts on that? Like, do you think maybe I should just have like 2 locations? One, like maybe we use that conference room, but have a bigger option in mind. Should I have people RSVP so I know how many are coming? What are your thoughts on that? And do we know if the Justice Center has the hybrid option?
The hybrid option, I know for sure, is available on the 2nd floor in the jury assembly room.
Okay.
If I know a number of you have met up there. Downstairs, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
in
thinking,
the multi-purpose room, I don't know.
Yeah. We could make it work because we could always cast the laptop screen to the projector screen and turn the laptop, and the camera would see the room, but it's kind of a rigged together thing.
Rebecca, I don't know if you were in the partnership meeting the other day for the Door Community Nonprofit meeting.
I was not.
Okay, so they were talking about who has the OWL and who has those capabilities of doing hybrid. The names given that way day was the Community Foundation has one. We Are Hope. Door Community, no, I said that. Crossroads at Big Creek, and there was one more that I know is existing. So even that, if we could partner up with that.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. I will check with, I know Cammie, both Cammie and Cammie's right outside my door. So I'll ask her because she might remember that 4th one.
The library does hybrid meetings all the time.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good.
Just had one for all of the branches plus the folks here in the building just yesterday.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? I think this was a really good meeting, guys. A lot of good discussion. So that's great. I thank you so much. So
Good
I
to see
will.
everybody.
Yep, good to see everybody. I will get meeting minutes out today and then be on the lookout for our next meeting date and place. Well, we know the date is the 10th of June and then the place. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Go Badgers.